Well, hello, my friends. Here's something that you probably didn't know about. There's a thing called the Good Samaritan Act. It doesn't typically mandate that bystanders intervene in a crime or face legal accountability for inaction, but laws vary by jurisdiction. In the U.S., most states don't impose a duty to act unless you have a specific relationship to the victim or you create the danger. However, some places like Vermont has law requiring reasonable assistance. And they got to pass law to tell people to help other people. If it's safe to do so with minor penalties for non-compliance. Other countries like France or Germany have stronger duty to rescue laws where failure to help can lead to fines and jail time. Here's a story based on that. This is called the silent witness. Sometimes my brain gets going faster than my mouth. I kind of get tongue tied. In a small town of Willow Creek, the air was thick with tension one autumn evening. Claire, a shy librarian, was walking home from her shift when she heard a commotion in the alley behind the diner. Peering cautiously, she saw two figures, one pinning the other against a wall, a knife glittering under the streetlight. Her heart raced. She froze, clenching her bag, her phone heavy in her pocket. The town has recently passed a local ordinance, a Good Samaritan Act, requiring bystanders to at least call for help if they witness a crime, providing it was safe. Failure to act could mean a fine or community service. Claire knew this, but Phil glued her feet to the ground. What if the attacker saw her? What if they came after her next? The victim, a young man named Eli, cried out, but Claire ducked behind a dumpster, her breath shallow. She told herself she'd call 911 once she was safe, but by the time she reached her apartment, the moment had passed. Guilt gnawed at her, but she convinced herself it wasn't her place to get involved. The next morning, the town buzzed with news. Ellie had been robbed and injured, but he survived after a passerby, someone who hasn't hesitated, called the police. The attacker was caught, but the investigation revealed Claire's footprints near the scene. A neighbor mentioned seeing her rush home that night. Under Willow Creek's new law, the police questioned her. I didn't know what to do, Claire shambled in court, facing a misdemeanor charge for failing to report. I was scared, the judge, sympathetic but firm, sending her to community service, citing the law's purpose to foster a community that look out for each other. Claire spent weeks volunteering at a local shelter where she met Eli. He wasn't angry, just curious. Why didn't you call? He asked gently. Claire's eyes welled up. I thought staying quiet kept me safe, but I didn't feel safe after. Her service hours became a turning point. Claire started teaching free self-defense classes at the library, vowing never to let fear silence her again. The town, too, learned from the case, debating whether this good Samaritan law was a step forward unity or a burden on the timid. But let me know what you think about the good exper- good is- Samaritan Good Samaritan Act. Got it. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that.